Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This video is going to be doing my monthly review for this month's episode or issue of The Walking Dead. This one is issue 108. As always, my reviews for The Walking Dead do contain spoilers. This one is no exception. So The Walking Dead comic book series, at least within the last year or so for me, has been really exciting. I like all the new developments Robert Kirkman's come up with for Negan, the Saviors, and just all the different communities he's coming up with. The Hilltop, and now we've got the Kingdom with Ezekiel. And Ezekiel has a tiger, which is interesting as well. I really love this cover by Charlie Adler. I mean, months ago when they released this cover, I was really excited because I was just like, we haven't seen a character that's as colorful or comic booky as Ezekiel, probably in The Walking Dead, maybe ever. But it is, I mean, I wouldn't say it's unrealistic. I mean, you could get a tiger, like it's possible, especially in a zombie apocalypse. All you'd have to do is visit a zoo and maybe Ezekiel really likes animals and, decided he wants to have a tiger. I also like the whole kingdom thing aspect where they all act like they're in, ancient times, and that Ezekiel is like a king, and then he's got like a throne on the cover, and he's got his knights that ride around on horseback, and they've got like armor with swords. I mean, it makes sense in a zombie apocalypse because you would run out of ammo really quickly. And unless you're like Eugene and know how to cast bullets and have the ability to do so, a sword, and horseback and that kind of stuff is very effective. You don't need gas. You don't need resources. You just need to feed the horses and, use swords and all that kind of stuff, and it's good. As well as a tiger would be very useful in a zombie apocalypse because it could just mangle and rip up tons of walkers. Granted, it didn't get bitten. Zombie tiger, that would be bad. Well, in The Walking Dead, though, they don't do zombie animals. Even the disease just affects human beings. So even if it did get bitten, it wouldn't turn. At least it's not supposed to in terms of what we've seen so far. It's not Resident Evil. You don't have zombie dogs or zombie crows. I have done a video about that topic, by the way, if you're interested to go check it out. So this review is going to be real quick because I got to start work in about 20 minutes and I haven't had breakfast yet. So I'll just go through it as fast as I possibly can and get the review done. That way I can go on with my day. So the beginning of the episode or issue, we have, for some reason, in comic books I always call them episodes. I don't know why. I've done that my whole life. Beginning of the issue, you have Negan, and he's kind of doing one of these and saying, "Let the slaughter begin," which is kind of funny because then they're playing ping pong after. And you have Dwight there, who's just had enough of Negan. He's the one with the half burnt face, uses a crossbow as well, but has just had enough of Negan. You could kind of look at him as like the Walking Dead comic book version of Daryl almost. I mean, well, should I say that? I mean, I guess I can kind of say he uses a crossbow. He uses and he does look to be in this issue turning from Negan's side over to, Rick's rebellion, so to speak, and Ezekiel's too, because Ezekiel was looking to rebel against Negan anyway, since he doesn't like him. He's got a tiger. He's a badass. He's got a tiger. It's the main reason. So there you go. So he's not scared of anybody. So he's going to try to take Negan out. He just needed the knowledge and the know-how, and now he's got Rick as well. So it should be a pretty good conclusion to all this when it actually comes about in the next probably 5 to 10 issues and we see a final battle or attack. I'm thinking, though, Negan's probably not going to go away that quickly or that easily because we haven't had a villain like this since the Governor in the Walking Dead comic book series. And he's a really interesting character. He's funny, he's colorful, he's interesting, and I wouldn't think that Robert Kirkman would want to kill him off so soon. Maybe eventually, but even if he's sort of taken down, I'd like to see him stick around, like have them not kill him but keep him around or something. Even if they can take him down, or maybe they can't. Maybe he runs away. There's lots of different possibilities. So then they're playing ping pong. No one's going to obviously, honestly play back against Negan. Well, maybe he's just that good. I mean, there's no way for us to know, but it seems like to me no one's actually going to try to beat Negan at ping pong. He's, just wouldn't be a good idea. Then you've got Michonne and Carl with some really cool artwork by Charlie Adler slashing down some zombies. Carl gets too comfortable and almost gets bitten. Really close one. Luckily, they're able to get away, but then afterwards, kind of a good moment of reflection. Carl kind of mentions to Michonne how he feels useless because he's missing the eye, so he's got a huge blind spot now, and only with one eye. I mean, every human being has a blind spot, but it's really small. But you missing an eye, you would lose so many things. Depth perception wouldn't be proper because two eyes allows for depth perception, so you wouldn't be able to drive as well, things like that. You wouldn't be much of a shot from long distance probably with one eye, or not a very good one. You know, this entire side, all like peripheral vision and everything, you wouldn't be able to see any of it. So, you know, and it does make sense. I mean, Rick too, losing the hand, but with Carl, that eye, man, it's, you know, he's not going to be able to see properly, so he's not going to be able to see what's going on. So that's kind of a good moment. I like that. Going on from there, we get to see the kingdom, as Jesus calls it, kind of some, let's see, so they have to be escorted in. They can't just walk in, which makes sense too. I like the guys, like I mentioned before, on horseback, the knights, so to speak. Pretty funny. Then we find out that they're at a school, a high school, which is what Kirkman originally, in the original idea or summary of The Walking Dead, he wanted to bring Rick and the characters to a high school and have them stay there as one of their locations. He's never done it, or he hasn't done it yet. So maybe eventually we'll see him do that if they have to leave Alexandria safe zone. So I like the environment. I like the way it looks. The school buses around it are really cool. The artwork on it's good. I like it a lot. I think it's pretty interesting. They go in and they meet Ezekiel, who I love the artwork of. I love the design. I think it's funny. He reminds me a lot of Michonne's design, because Michonne, when we first met her, she had like clothes over top, and then she had this like weird pink, was like weird colored undershirt and weird pink like skirt, and Ezekiel has like a shirt with stars on it. And it's let's see from the cover, because the pages are black and white, and it's like green and gold. Which is just, I don't know, it's kind of funny the way he does that, but whatever. I mean, he's a good artist, so, you know, can't go wrong with that. So there's that, and then Rick gets introduced to the tiger. He's surprised. We got back over. Andrea and Michonne are kind of talking. Michonne's kind of disappointed in herself because she's become so antisocial, which is totally legit. If you're on your own for that long, you may become totally antisocial like her. She was, you know, on her own for so many months that afterwards she never totally came back with her social skills. And still, to this point, the comic book hasn't, as well as in the TV series, hasn't either. I find her to be a little bit more talkative in the TV show, though, than she is in the comic book. But that's because it's a TV series. You got to have more, you know, dialogue and things like that than in a comic book. You want to get the message through more quickly, because you don't have as many panels, as many you know, pages and stuff. It's a lot harder. Then we have Spencer, who is preparing to do something. It looks like he's going to the church and asking for strength. Mutiny, probably mutiny. So we'll see what happens with him. He really has no reason to live anymore anyway. He has nobody. His parents are gone. He likes Andrea, but she's with Rick, of course. So that'll be interesting to see when he mutinies and what's going to happen with that. Then we have Rick, and he is meeting with Ezekiel. He's kind of learning that Ezekiel hates Negan the Saviors. Dwight walks out. Rick loses his mind, punches him, and then Dwight kind of explains that Negan's got his wife, Negan burnt his face, and that he's not loyal to Negan. He's just been looking for a chance, but he's never had one. I like it when they start punching each other and the tiger roars. You know, then they obviously stop fighting because it's a fucking tiger. Okay, so then afterwards, essentially, you know, Dwight promises to give them inside information, and they all kind of agree that they're going to take Negan down. So that's basically the issue. I thought it was a great plot builder. Not much action, because obviously the only part was the, if you want to count the little punch that Rick threw at Dwight, and the part with Michonne and Carl fighting off the walkers in the blind spot. But I did love the issue, because it really builds on the story, and it brings us to an interesting point, which is something that we have never seen in The Walking Dead before, which is multiple communities joining together, and then you have like Negan with his own, who is essentially like a mobster. You know, he forces people to pay him, or he'll kill them. It's really that simple. So really, really interesting the way you have these multiple communities all working together, all kind of coexisting, and Rick's community is caught up in the mess. Because you got to think eventually Rick's group would have to grow in size, you know, and the Alexandria safe zone. I'm not sure how many people he has in there right now. I haven't seen a count recently in the comic books, but it's got to be a lot, especially a lot more than he used to have near the beginning and that kind of stuff. And then, of course, with Ezekiel coming on board, he'll be an interesting character as well. And he also seems like somebody that you know, I don't know if he can 100% be trusted either. You know, he seems like he can be. He seems like he's a legit guy. But, you know, I mean, the whole king and all this kind of stuff, you know, I could see later on after they deal with Negan, if they're able to defeat Negan or not, I could see Ezekiel maybe turning on Rick or having some, you know, storylines where he and Rick don't necessarily get along or don't jive together. Because he does seem really tough. In his community, we don't know how many people he has, but it does seem like it's pretty, you know, the whole kingdom thing and all that theme seems like they're pretty tough. So they could definitely probably give Rick's community a good run for their money, if not beat them. So we'll see what happens. This is going to be really interesting the next few chapters to see where the book goes. And I love the way the comic book has been interesting all the way through. You know, I felt like after the Hunters part, it was getting a little bit to the point where it might have gotten a little bit repetitive, because the last thing you would want is for a story like this over the chapters and, you know, over the long term, issue after issue after issue, to feel repetitive or feel like we're back in the same situation. And The Walking Dead has never done that. We don't feel like Rick's just trying to survive now. The walkers are, you know, coming to get them, yada, yada, yada. It's really changed up very well, and to the point now where it's more like, yes, the people are a threat, kind of like with the governor's group, but Negan is very different from the governor. His community is different from the governor. The way he acts is totally different from the governor. And you have other communities involved too, so it's more complicated than that. So, really love it. Can't wait to eventually see it on TV if they get to this point in the comic books, in the TV series. I do love reading the comic books, and it's my favorite comic book ever. But seeing it animated on TV is really great. So eventually getting to see all these things play out in the TV series, if they get there, very exciting as well. In terms of a score for this issue, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I thought was a great builder issue. It's going to be really interesting to see this new character. Great introduction of an interesting character. Wouldn't he make a good combo with Michonne? Him and Michonne would work really well. I think so anyway. They're both like some of the most badass characters we've seen in The Walking Dead. And they kind of look alike, somewhat. So that'd be good. Plus, you know, he set it up with the whole Michonne being lonely thing and all that. So it would make perfect sense. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say. Well, that wasn't a quick review. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of the issue, what you think of Ezekiel. And I got to go. Got to get breakfast. Got to start work. See you guys later. Peace.